Yo, what's good? We back another live from Fayettenam Friday. It's literally storming outside, raining, thundering, my dog spazzing out. But we gonna get through another episode of live from Fayettenam. Excuse me. Ooh, couldn't get my sound effects to play for some reason. I can't get the music to play, sound effects to play.
Okay.
I don't know how that's gonna go when I gotta do music reviews on Saturdays. So I couldn't get none of the intro music to play. Trying to play it right now, it is not playing. Luckily, I'm able to play the intros and the outro for the show. So we got a guest coming on in a little while, probably 7:10, 7:15. He hit me up, let me know he was on the beach and like 10 minutes away from his crib, and he's a Grammy award winning producer. Minnesota from the Money Boss Players will be coming on here soon. So until then, I guess I'm gonna move my topic up. There was a basically a topic about Lord Jamar saying that breakdancing isn't part of hip hop. I mean, that one's new to me. I always was under the impression it was breaking, MCing, DJing, graffiti, and then I guess you could throw in fashion as well. But yeah, if we're gonna keep taking elements out of hip hop, we're just gonna like remove elements out of hip hop. Um, we gotta stop saying that this new generation ain't hip hop. Like if we just strip all the elements away from hip hop and say this ain't part of hip hop no more, and this ain't part of hip hop, because apparently the people are saying that a lot of these things were separate. Like graffiti was separate, and the breaking was separate, and MCing was separate, and they wasn't all like combined together originally or whatnot. That's one of the narratives I've heard. Well, that's the case. I mean, we can't sit there and pick and choose like what's hip hop, what's not hip hop nowadays. When a lot of people be like, well, a lot of this modern day rap music is not hip hop. They call it rap. They don't call it hip hop because they said there's no breaking and MCing and DJing and graffiti involved in this modern day rap. So it's like we got to make our minds up, man. And I almost think like Lord Jamar saying this, like that breakdancing isn't part of hip hop. I almost think this kind of goes um along with the him saying like Puerto Ricans weren't part of hip hop from the start or whatnot. And even if they were or were not, both of these statements have been very divisive. They've caused uproars from people. They've caused division, especially in the Puerto Ricans in the hip hop community. Um, I think a DJ came out and was freaking out about Lord Jamar saying that breakdancing is not part of hip hop. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not the know all be all of hip hop, but I was always under the impression that it was. And I guess and maybe now it almost feels like after what happened at the Olympics, it's like Lord Jamar's like, nah, we ain't that shit ain't part of hip hop. Just because of the way they did Olympics. I know some people are in the uproar about breakdancing Olympics because of that Australian so-called breakdancer they had. But I don't know, man. I think Lil Jamar has been very divisive lately. I think artists and people from that era they need to kind of like stick together and support each other more. I don't think you need to possibly make statements like this that could cause division and whatnot. I think it's just better to just let these things just be sometimes. Like everything doesn't have to be shouted to the rooftops. Some things you could just keep to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's gonna have the cause and effect that it definitely has had. Cause I know Lord Jamar said the thing about Puerto Ricans in hip hop, like people went batshit crazy. excuse me, they're probably gonna go batshit crazy over this one as well. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know what to say. I know when we bring on Minnesota, I'm gonna definitely ask him what is his take and his opinion. What's he feel about breakdancing being part of hip hop? Um, other big news, I guess, a lot of lawsuits. Playboy Cardi wrongful DMCA takedown lawsuit resolved. 6ix9ine slapped with international arrest warrant as legal woes grow. I mean, what's new? Cardi B defends herself after calling Atlanta Records correctional facility. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I mean, I don't even got to know the details to probably know what she's going on that. I mean, labels have kind of imprisoned artists into being stuck under their label and whatnot, where they can't release new music, things of that nature. Labels definitely put you in contracts that sometimes are like hard to recoup and get the money back on. So yeah, man. I mean, when you sign to a major label, I mean, what do you expect? It's like let's think about this. Like signing to a major label is like you trying to sign you pretty much signing your business totally over to the major label. Why is that? Because when most artists sign to a major label, they don't put none of their own money up. That's the thing. In a typical business, I mean, you could go get a loan and things of that nature from like a bank or whatnot to start a business, but they just get paid back off the loan. They don't like make actual percentages of your sales. So when you sign to a major label, it's like a loan that you also have to pay back plus interest, and they also pretty much getting a percentage of your sales, at least your streams and a lot of your endorsements and things of that nature. Now they got the 360 deals where they can get money off of every little aspect, you know. So I mean, I don't need to know the details of what Cardi B says. They're like a correctional facility. Yeah, yeah. Labels. I mean, their contracts kind of designed to imprison you into owing them forever, not recouping. Sometimes they only put so much in like back in the days they'd only make so many copies so you can only recoup so much money. Little baby mugshot sends fans in a frenzy mess. Yeah, I actually commented on this on Instagram and said he didn't look too happy, and he didn't, and I got a lot of likes for that. But I mean, I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but like rappers, man. I mean, I hate to say it, man. Like y'all be out here still trying to like do this hot boy shit, man, when you shouldn't really need to do this hot boy shit anymore. But you can't tell nobody what to do. People gonna do what they want to do. Big Sean trolls Drake, explains emotional IG live amid Better Me Than You album release. Scarlett accuses bank of racial profiling, threatens to sue. I mean, that's a tough one to prove. T.I. crowns Lotto 2024 Trapper of the Year at Trap Music Museum ceremony. Okay. LL backs Joe Budden after Young Miami mocked Pump It Up Gold Plaque. You know what? Um, I talked about this, but I don't want to. I mean, I ain't mocking him. I was just shocked. I was just shocked that Joe Budden's literally like didn't go gold until recently. I was totally shocked at that. I was totally shocked and surprised. As big as I thought that song was back then as a single, it wasn't really impacting apparently like we thought. Cause when you think about it, the only reason it went gold is because of streaming nowadays. If there wasn't no streaming, this song would have never went gold, man. That's what people fail to realize. So it didn't really have the impact that I think people thought it would have back then, or thought it did have back then. Excuse me. I thought it was bigger. It was played on a lot of radio play, a lot of club play. Um, but then I thought about it. Did I ever go and listen to that Joe Budden's first album? Nope. I couldn't even tell you the title of it. I didn't listen to it. I couldn't tell you the title of it. Then I thought, have I ever listened to a Joe Budden's full album? Nope. Nope. Joe Budden's has never made me want to run and have to go check out an album. I mean, I don't know why, but that's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. We should have Minnesota for the Money Boss players coming on here soon. He said about 10 after, 15 after. He will pop up pretty much. Uh Chris Porterfield said, I think Lil Jamar wants hip hop to be a black only genre and culture. I do agree. It very divisive. I mean, you're probably right on that. I don't there could be a lot of truth to that. Um, but this is the thing. Hip hop wouldn't be as successful as it is without white fan base also as well, and Asian fan base and Hispanic fan base. And think of like somebody like Wu-Tang, man. I mean, Wu-Tang is big in Japan, China, overseas like crazy. I mean, I'm just sorry. Like a lot of the top superstars in hip hop sold a lot of records to a lot of white people as well, or got a lot of white people streaming. J. Cole has tremendously large amount of white fan base. Kendrick, tremendously large amount of white fan base. Pretty sure Drake does as well. You know, like, I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, appreciate you, Chris Porterfield, for tuning in. He said facts. I mean, that's just, yeah, the numbers don't lie, man. I mean, any artist that's successful in hip hop, the most successful artists in hip hop, like that, the guys at the very top, they got a lot of white fan base. That's like somebody posted earlier about like Eminem. Yeah, he sold music to a lot of white people, and so did so did 50 Cent. And so did 50 Cent when he went diamond. And so did Nelly when he went diamond. And so did Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. All these big top selling albums, they all so Lil Wayne got ton of white fan base. Lil Wayne got ton of white fan base. Like you can't like expect like a ton of white people to consume your music, but just say like y'all can't like actually make the music though. That's really that's kind of like hypocritical in my and when I think about it, like, I mean, I think about the artists that got me into hip hop, Heavy D and the Boys. Why did Heavy D and the Boys get me into hip hop? Because Heavy D and the Boys was playing on a pop station. He was playing on a top 40 pop station, and I was listening to rock at the time. I was listening to Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses and all those bands back then. And then I hear Heavy D and the Boys on a top 40 pop station, and it was different than anything I was hearing on a top 40 pop station. It was different than all the rock. It was different than any of the hip hop I heard before. And I was like, yo, this is the shit. It was that we got our own thing. Heavy D and the Boys, we got our own thing. That won me over. That's when I realized I had to start going out there and giving a lot more hip hop a chance. Because when when you live in Panama for like a few years as a little kid, you're deprived of hip hop. You were deprived of hip hop in Panama. You're deprived of pretty much all of American culture, music, and most movies except for Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like that was the very first movie I ever seen. Uh said Chris said, I noticed that most rude and bitter fans are disrespecting the other racial ethnic groups for liking hip hop. Um that I mean that's crazy. Like how is it like, cats want to tour, make a lot of money and sell a lot of records and get a lot of streams, but you don't want nobody but one race to listen to the music? I mean, that's not a really a recipe for success in the entertainment business. Like even like a lot of these independent black movies on Tubi, man. I mean, I guarantee there's a lot of white people going to check them out as well too. I guarantee there's a lot of white people going to check them out as well too. Heavy D was super dope. Heavy D was an entertainer. Definitely the kind of cat to get me into hip hop. I didn't know nothing about no. We didn't like. That's the thing. At this point, I wasn't like in the streets, hanging in the streets. None of that. You talking about elementary time, man? I mean, like just come back from Panama, military brat. I don't know nothing about the streets. I ain't know nothing about no gangster rappers, and there wasn't even really no thug rappers like that too much. Just gangster rappers. All right, so waiting on should be on soon, hopefully. Minnesota for Money Boss Players. Okay. All right, so he texted me like 7 minutes ago and said 10 minutes. So we got about 3 more minutes. We got Jakey G on YouTube. Appreciate you. Said I emailed you a song. Okay, I'm doing music reviews tomorrow. As long as the music actually plays. For some reason, I couldn't get the background music to play earlier when I started a 5 minute countdown. So I got it. When I get off here, I'm gonna have to probably reset my computer, reset my StreamYard, see why the background music wouldn't play, so I could do the music reviews. I'm doing music reviews tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm trying to find a perfect time to go on. So you got the people in the UK and France and Africa that be submitting music. Like I want to go on a time where they can tune in where it's not too late because they're like 6 hours ahead of us and whatnot. So trying to find a good time where I can, I got people from overseas tuning in and people from the United States. Because like right now at 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's actually 7:18. I mean, it's like literally almost 1 in the morning over there. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning over there. So like, you know, it going doing music reviews is just too late. And I got about I'm probably got a 14, 15 songs tomorrow to review. Of course I got about 100 emails of death metal that I still got to go through. I'm almost thinking I got to do like a death metal maybe a death metal day where I review nothing but death metal for the whole day, just so I could get through the death metal emails. I got wormhole death metal records submitting like crazy. I mean, they're just sending me like metal songs from Australia, Germany, Poland, and Norway, and some from the US. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. My inbox is just flooded with death metal music, heavy metal music, progressive metal music, all types of metal. Uh Jakey G says mine's is trap rap. Hey, we're gonna have everything on there. We're gonna have trap rap. We're gonna have pop. We could have some country, some hip hop, R&B, some reggae, some EDM. I don't listen to none of the songs before I review them. I know we got Rex tomorrow. Rex. I hate to say it, Rex always gets yays, so y'all might as well count on Rex getting a yay. Y'all might as well count on Rex getting a yay. He ain't got nothing less than a yay since he been on the show. All right, well, you know what? While we're waiting on Minnesota real quick, we're gonna get to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Tropical drink.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they gonna be drink up. We sit down and relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the bars and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that tend to the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress is waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. No wait and listen, no they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll take your taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the drizzle.
Yeah, that's right. I really mean it. You could dizzle too. Dizzle is a premium luxury liqueur mixed with agave tequila, cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. So your dizzle on ice, and it's nice. Want to order your very own bottle or bottles? Go to dizzlebrand.com. We got the Dizzle brand bottles. I got to get some another bottles. You see, mine is empty. We got the cans. We got 4 flavor cans as well. We got the red bottom, the sangria, mango rita, and Dizzle on the beach canned up, as you can see on this flyer. Go to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Dizzle brand, and you can see different locations all throughout California, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and now available in Georgia. Yeah, if y'all in Georgia, go check your local stores and see if they got the Dizzle brand. And let me see. Let me check my email, man, while we're here. Says I got a couple email song submissions. Make sure all right, so I got the Jakey G. Jakey G, man, you send it as a link. We don't review links. Please, like I said, let me reply to this. MP3s only. All right, so Jakey G, I just replied to your email, man. MP3s only, man. I do not review links. Do not review links. And I might in the future because I might be switching over to I might be switching from StreamYard, especially if StreamYard ain't playing my background music right. From StreamYard to like Restream or one of these other streaming platforms. Make sure y'all go get that Dizzle, dizzlebrand.com. Man, I just went out of focus. What's going on here? Let's see what's up with Minnesota, man. Minnesota, where you at? Come on, man. It's part of the game, man. Like interviewers sometimes are late, not on time. Sometimes things pop up where they got to reschedule and cancel. One time, Smoother Hustle was going to interview him, and somebody reared in his car right before the interview, so we had to reschedule that. Ended up knocking that out. Had to reschedule actually a few interviews before. It's part of the game. It's the name of the game. Go check out that Pace One interview we just had recently. Really dope interview. Talks about Eminem, like when he first met Eminem, and basically Eminem jumping off stage and punching somebody in the face one time because they were heckling him while he was on stage performing at San Francisco, I think he said. Let me text him, see how we looking. See how we looking. He did come on earlier before I went live and was pretty much at the beach. Said he had was like 10 or 15 minutes away from the crib and whatnot. But yeah, Lord Jamar, man. How about like don't say things sometimes that are super divisive for the hip hop community when like hip hop's already having trouble getting shows in the American market. You're not getting no radio play. You're not getting a lot of streams. Um, like the only playlist that Spotify has for artists of the 80s and 90s is like playlist of songs from the 80s and 90s. They're not throwing none of these new records from these 80s and 90s hip hop artists on none of these big Spotify playlists at all. You're not gonna see like I'll be surprised if you see LL Cool J on the Rap Caviar playlist. If you do, it'd be. I mean, I think hell would probably froze over before that happens. You know, because normally they only got trap and drill artists on there. I mean, you had Eminem, but Eminem, I mean, the streams that Eminem is getting is crazy ridiculous. It's crazy ridiculous. The attention he getting is crazy ridiculous. I got over almost 400,000 views on a post about a discussion on Eminem on Reddit. I mean, like Eminem gets crazy, crazy traction, crazy, crazy views. He ain't hit me back yet, so I wasn't prepared to talk for a whole hour. I had a bunch of questions lined up. Um, Also go check out the Paul Pickett podcast. Y'all can do that as well. I just had a few interviews that I put out recently. I got the interview with Brandon Lambert. I got an interview with Chris Lights Out Lido. I got an interview with Keith the Rockstar Richardson out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I just interviewed Jessica the Black Widow Borga, who might be my new favorite female bare knuckle fighter. And she's out of Florida. She's fighting under Team Swift, which Redneck Mandel is Swift MMA got Redneck Mandel and Brandon Allen and Jared Warren and Borga and Crystal Pittman. But go check that out. Paul Pickett podcast. Got a bunch of new clips. Got about 4 new interviews. Probably gonna have a bunch of new interviews coming up this week. Let's see. And Minnesota just text me, said he's coming on now. We're probably gonna go over the hour mark tonight for sure. I got a bunch of questions. Let's see what just so y'all know, man, Minnesota is a Grammy award winning producer, 2-time nominee for the Grammys, platinum producer. I mean, he's produced for the likes of Biggie Smalls, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Most Def, Sadat X, Big Pun, Ghostface Killer, Ja Rule and Lil Wayne, Trick Daddy, Birdman, Scarface, Naughty by Nature, Grand Puba, Lord Tariq, Peter Guns, M.O.P., Corrupt, 50 Cent, G Unit, and more. And let's bring them on now. Minnesota from the Money Boss Players. What's good,
Yo,
my
what up? What it is, home team?
chillin', chillin'. Yeah, I was just going through your resume, man. You got a lot of production credits here, man.
Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
So
comrade.
I want to start with some standards, like your name. What was the thought process behind the name?
The thought process behind the name, it was a nickname from the streets when I was 16 or 17 years old. Something
Okay.
happened in the streets, and a guy had to differentiate between me and somebody else. And nicknames. My nickname came in gunfire, but I'm all right. I'm here to talk about it, so I guess I'm doing good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Um, so did you start out as a rapper or producer first?
Producer.
Okay.
Wow. Producer. I'll say producer, but growing up in the Bronx when it started, um I would say my first love was just the music aspect and the breaks that they would play in the parks and stuff like that.
Mhm. Now, Bronx, you grew up in Soundview, correct?
No. I'm originally from 169th and Boston Road,
Oh, okay.
which was by CX63, and that's in the early 70s. This is 1970 when Grandmaster Flash he didn't start playing over there to 75, 76. There's a misnomer about hip hop starting in 72. Boldface lied. Nothing was going on in 75, 76. But I'm from 169th from Boston Road, 1254 Franklin. Then from there, I moved to 183rd Street, where I first really experienced hip hop. And then after 183rd Street, I moved to Soundview in 1978, where I got to experience like Bambaataa, Red Alert, Jazzy J, Disco King Mario, that everybody likes to just forget. But Disco King Mario, DJ Lightning Lance, Cool Clyde, that was hip hop in the 70s as a pick-me.
Now, Money Boss Players, how did that form out?
Well, it was our man, I don't like to tell stories that appear to be a little negative, but that was our in the crack era. That was our little crew in the projects.
Okay.
So then you have my cousins over on Webster and his right hand man on the concourse, and we just put it all together because first it wasn't Money Boss Players. It was a crew called Four Better, which was me, DJ Triple C, Lord Tariq, and Baby J. So Baby J is Speaker Knocker's father. That was our first attempt. This is when um I got influenced to get in the music game from a group out of New York called Mob Style. I wasn't thinking about music because actually at that time and 90 music was corny. It was some rappers was corny. You know what I mean? So from there, from the Four Better crew, it went to me and Tariq, which was Larceny Inc. And that's if you look at the unsigned hype, it's Larceny Inc. But by that time, we had formed a crew with us that was nice out of Soundview, Webster, and the Grand Concourse, and we just called ourselves Money Boss Players. We struggled with a name for a long time. We couldn't figure it out. And the Money Boss Players was our 80s crap dealer crew, which was the Orange Top crew back in front of 1689 in the projects in Soundview. So we going all crazy trying to find a rap name, and we was like, yo, let's just use our street name. So that's how Money Boss Players came about.
Now, I was going through some of your credits. There was one early in the game from a group out of my state, North Carolina, Yag Fu Front.
Yo,
Like, how did that
that
come
was,
about?
you know, um, okay, I gotta go into when I was in the street. When I was in the street, my partner, his name was Oye Negro, Oye Black. His cousins were the dancers for Brand Nubian. So they took me up into the record labels, and I would just be chilling up in the record labels with them. So at the time at Mercury Records, the A&R was Kenyatta Bell. And Kenyatta Bell, I haven't seen Kenyatta in years. We got real tight, but Kenyatta was the A&R for Yag Fu Front and Gemini the Gifted One. So my actual first placement in the game was Yag Fu Front, and it was like a outro on their album. That was the
Yeah.
first one, but the second one, the one that got me recognition, like it's a new producer, was Gemini, the Gifted One. So with Brooklyn Kids, so that was the one that kind of got me to get with everyone else, you know.
That was crazy because I was like, yo, they from Raleigh, North Carolina, right up the street from us. And that was one of your very first production credits. Now, what was some of
Ever,
the things yeah, what was some of the things y'all were doing back then to get noticed and get exposure?
you had to go to Manhattan. The
Okay.
money don't come to you; you got to go to it, you know. And this is like before mixtapes and stuff like that, you know. So we would go to Manhattan, and when I started working with Tariq was getting notoriety because one mixtape led him to another. The first mixtape he was on was a DJ Triple C, and then from DJ Triple C, you know, once he got on Doo-Op's tapes, that was it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we gained our notoriety. I want to say Tariq was the first mixtape rapper, so that was kind of like what propelled us and propelled the name, and that was that. You know.
So Lord Tariq was like one the first mixtape rapper?
I wanna go on record to say I want to say yeah because I think we did Buck Wild first. Remember when Buck Wild was DJing, more into
Yeah.
DJing and production. So yeah, I want to say he may have been one of the early one of the first mixtape rappers. Yeah.
So a good friend of my of the show, he had a question he wanted to ask you that I had in here. Like what was the vibe and the energy like going into helping Sadat X release his first solo album?
Yo, look, right. Sadat got to be just a cool individual, laid back, cool, playful. He's super cool. He's down to record. He's always down to work. Sadat is just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm talking about meeting a person, you'll see Sadat at a basketball game. You Sadat is just gonna be wherever, whatever. No security. He's never been the kind of guy, even when they were at peak. Like you know, rarely do you get people that don't let fame extort their
Yeah.
extort their mind. But Sadat is just one of us, you know. He's from New Rochelle, but he's originally from the Bronx, from Cortland Avenue. So maybe that's just, you know, Sadat is just regular dude, you know what I'm saying? So it was never no stardom shit with him, even when they was at peak, you know.
Now, when you won the Grammy, I'm guessing that was for I'm Not a Player.
No, I won the Grammy for actually I'm the first producer out the Bronx to get a Grammy, and then I think Diamond was next, but the Grammy was
Okay.
for Naughty by Nature for Poverty's Paradise, their
Poverty's
second
Paradise.
album.
Okay. Okay. And you did two songs in that one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you to I'm Not a Player, man. Like, how did opportunity come about? And did y'all think this song was gonna be as big as it was?
Pun. You know, yo man, I think about that situation, man, because Pun was one of my childhood friends. We grew up together playing tag, manhunt, all the rough shit that little boys do growing up in a rough neighborhood. We did all that shit, throwing rocks, breaking windows, run, just stupid shit. So Pun left the neighborhood, right? And I've told the story on so many. I'm on Southern Boulevard, so I hear somebody going, "Mark, call me by my government name," but they're making fun of how my grandmother used to call me out the window. Because when
Yeah.
she'd call me out the window, you can hear that shit for 2-3 blocks away. So I'm looking like, yo, who's this? I'm like, who's this fat nigga with all this? He was on Southern Boulevard. And he had already gained the weight. So I'm like, yo, who's this fat nigga with all this jewelry on? And when I got up on him, it was Chris. So he was like, Mark, I'm a rapper. Damn, what was his name? He has some whack name. So I'm like, oh, you're a rapper. So I mean, I'm cool. We cool. So I gave him my number. And next thing I know, he was Big Punisher. I'm trying to think of his name before Big Pun. It was some wild. I'll remember. I'll be having problems remembering stuff now. But yeah, he did it. That was my guy. Like that in my neighborhood where we grew up, Puerto Ricans and blacks, there was no separation. And actually, the Puerto Ricans that was from Soundview had like a je ne sais quoi with them. They wasn't like regular Guito Puerto Ricans. If you look at the pictures of Pun pre his rap career when he was Slim, he wasn't like, he was a fly Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga was a bona fide. He had all the respect in Soundview. It wasn't like he was a pussy or no shit like that. He was a, you know, straight up dude, you know, respectable man.
Yeah, that, I mean, but did y'all think that record was gonna be as big as it was?
He did, I didn't. That's, that session, I wish we could have recorded it, because first of all, Pun could have been a stand-up comedian. The nigga was funny. And we just had a lot of fun in the session, because he was like, yo, Mark, you doubt me, right? I'm like, yo, bro, you're not a player. You just fuck a lot. I could not. And I gotta go to this, because I usually see the vision on a song, but I couldn't see the vision, and that shit took off. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny because Pun is just a funny nigga. We recorded it in Staten Island, the Mystic Studios. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I miss him as a person. You know, he was a funny dude, man. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't argue. I'm like, yo, put SWV on the record. He was like, no, it's my record. I'm not putting SWV on. Because I had did that record because I wanted to get the SWV so bad, because they was singing over those hip hop slash R&B joints, and I just heard SWV on it. You know what I'm saying? And one of my friends, God bless his soul, from Clay Avenue, was like, yo, I know Coco. I grew up with her. We went to Jane Addams, one of the high schools in the Bronx or whatever. But I was hell bent on getting that record to SWV. And when Pun got his deal, I was like, yo, this is gonna be crazy. Put SWV on it. He was like, no, Mark, I'm not putting it. It's my record. I'm not putting SWV on it. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's one record that I didn't see the vision. He did what he needed to do.
Now, you did the theme music for HBO's Deaf Poetry Jam. What was that like for you?
Man, shout outs to Stan Lathan and Yasin Bey, Mos Def, formerly known as Mos Def. Those are my guys. You know what I mean? Everything, a lot of money, good relationships, and we're still cool. Me and Mo speak from time to time now. We're really cool, but a publishing company kind of strained our deal, because I was on Def Poetry for 5 seasons, and this publishing company did some sneaky shit behind my back, and it made me look a little weird. And I don't do no industry shit, man. If I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm not, industry could be weird, and we know why now these days. But this publishing company, they gave me a bunch of money, and they went and sued Mos and Stan while I'm working with them. I was wondering why they gave me all the money. So Mos and Stan called me on the 3, were like, Minnie, you're suing us? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They was like, yo, we just got the papers. So now I call the publishing company, and I flipped on them, Frank, at Royalty Net, right? I go crazy. Yo, motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how are you suing my boss? These are my guys. But by that time, I looked at like a liability. But I did 4 seasons, and my man Preservation did the 5th season because of that. And I should have sued Royalty Net, because I was going to make about $120,000 for that season. Because every season I did Def Poetry, my money went up, it went up, it went up every season. First season 35, next 50, it just went up, up, up. I'm getting a check for DJing, and I'm getting a check for providing sample-free music. Because when the poets would come on and off stage, that was all my music.
Now, didn't you end up producing some stuff on the Dave Chappelle show as well?
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, I did. I did the one, Turn My Headphones Up, and that was, believe it or not, that was the hardest beat I ever did, because I bring my ASR, I'm sitting in there with Dave and them. They was like, Minnie, we need something whack. We need your wackest beat. And it fucked me up, because I'm like, you need a whack? I don't do whack shit. And it was like, yo, we need the wackest beat you could come up with. So I said, oh shit. I did it. I did it. You know, that was my and people say they like the beat. They was like, it's fire. I was like, yo, that was hard. It was hard to do that beat because it was hard to be whack. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I worked with Dave a few times. I did the intro music to a few of his stand up shows after that. And nah, Dave is my guy. I just haven't seen him in a minute, but that's my guy.
Now, you recently opened up for Diamond D at the Sony Music Hall. What was that vibe like there?
Well, you know, wow, man, it was crazy because it was 1,000 people there, and the crowd was industry comrades. So for me now to be rhyming, it's never something that I wanted to do. I was always the ghost pen for someone
Okay.
else. So to be rhyming, I remember when we did that poetry one time, Most threw me the alley oop and didn't tell me he was gonna do it. And I froze in front of like everybody in the industry. And he did it because we did a song together called Grown Man Business on New Danger. Now I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that this is my life. This is how I get my money. So I'll do the MC thing now. I'll say a rhyme in front of Oprah Winfrey. I don't give a shit, you know?
Now, did you produce anything off the Lord Tariq and Peter Guns album,
No,
Rain Out,
not
Make It Rain
not
album?
not on the album, man. Not on the album. Nah.
What was that like around that album time when that dropped? Because that single was really, really huge.
Success and quickness, success and speed. You know, I can't blame Tariq. They were running around. I wanted to be more hands on with the album and give them direction. But when fame calls and it moves, you know, it moves. So, you know, I think at that time, you know, success kind of played a lot in people's personas at that time. Peter Guns was fighting for us to be on the album, the Money Boss Players, and I don't know, you know, it was just a different time. You know, I don't got nothing bad to say about Tariq, but maybe I was moving around too connected to certain street people at that time, and then would have clashed maybe with the people he had around him. But yeah, it was a trying time. You know what I'm saying? Because we were young, and it was a lot of success. You regular now, you're a star overnight, and when you
Yeah.
get to that level, you think, yo, I'm gonna stay a star. Nah, they like you Monday and Wednesday. We don't give a fuck about you. But when I did finally catch up to him, they were shooting the Deja Vu video in Shea Stadium. And me, I'm gonna be me. I don't give a fuck if you famous or not. I say, yo, bro. I said, this is the time. The record been out rocking. Before the record goes down, I said, I said, I know y'all got sued, Steely Dan merch y'all. But I said, if you
Yeah.
put the Money Boss Players on the Deja Vu remix with the Gun Runners and we all take 4 bars, I said the record's gonna live another 2 years. He said, nah, I can't do it. So, you know, that at that time was just like, it was fame, it was youth, it was everybody has the thing that they want to do. So I'm not gonna say it was a trying time, but you know, as we can see now, fame will come through, fuck the shit out of you and leave. You know what I'm saying? Fame is a prostitute. Fame ain't sticking around for nobody. And my thing is like, I understand art, but as a person who hustled and as a business thinker, I knew what could have kept us going. But in a sense now, you know, I'm glad everything has gone the way that it's going. You know what I'm saying? So we cool. I speak to Tariq. Peter Guns, my man, 100 grand all the time. We chop it up. You know what I'm saying? So I speak to Peter more than Tariq, but you know everything is cool. Everybody's in good places in their life now, and we speak. You know,
Yeah, even though the album did well, it just seemed like it wasn't received well at the end of the day. And I don't remember a second single either.
"We Will Ball" was the second single.
Oh, see, yeah, and that just I don't know. I can't think of what that sounds like off the top of the head right now.
They caught problems in the label. You know, within the label system, when they put out "We Will Ball," they put it out. It was due to do what it needed to do, but then it got pulled because they put an A&R, Tracy Waples, on the song for 4 bars. And labels is weird, man. Labels are weird. And you know, they caught beef with internally in the label. So, you know, I think they were blackballed because the album was a decent album. And after Deja Vu, any single that they pushed would have kept them as an extreme force up in that label at that time. Because Peter Guns Peter Guns plays like 12 instruments. Like Peter Guns is really Prince reincarnated, but he got caught up. The Bronx turned him to Peter Guns. But before Peter Guns, he was Peter Lover. And Peter's, when I say I respect his talent, that he's a nigga that knows music, the streets took him down the Peter Guns route, but he's really Pete Lover. Like, he's really a real musician. Like, I'll sing, I'll play. Like, he's dope. He's a dope guitarist. He's a drummer. Like, Peter's a real musician that just got caught up in some rap shit. It took him away from what he really is.
Was y'all ever fucking with Shaq since Peter Guns had that connection with Shaq? Was Shaq pretty much bringing him out?
I love Shaq, man. I love Shaq.
Everybody
I just haven't
loves Shaq.
I haven't seen him in forever, man. His hospitality was incredible. We went down there. When we went down there, he lost a dog because his house in Orlando, Florida, was on a lake, and the alligators ate one of his dogs. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Yeah. But Shaq is a superb person. You know, I haven't seen Shaq in like 10 years, but Shaq is cool. When he sees me, he's gonna make Minnesota. Yo, what's up, Benny? What you doing? What you into? You staying out of trouble? You know what I'm saying? But Shaq is my guy.
I want to ask you about Lord Jamar recently said breakdancing is not part of hip hop. What's your thoughts on that?
Breakdancing is one of the elements, right?
But
when you're not from the Bronx, and this is not, I love Lord Jamar. He was the only Brand Nubian member that I didn't meet. Now, he's left out there defending us by himself because all of this never was our argument. Did the Italians do this? Did the Irish do this? Did the Russians do this? Did the Khazars do this? Did the Puerto Ricans do this? Did the Dominicans do this? The blacks, the Jamaicans? It's all bullshit. I think because corporations want to make a run on who started hip hop. So to answer your question, breakdancing is one of the elements. The black kids were doing it first. We got off the floor because we started getting fresh and wearing Pumas and Lee suits with writing on the back of it. And then the Puerto Ricans took it and never left it alone. And I can attest to coming out of the Bronx when I lived on 183rd Street. This is 1976. I'm a little fucking boy. There was a crew called LTD Incorporated, Latin Dancers Incorporated, and them niggas was nice. They was tearing Grove Street up, Prospect, Crotona, 183rd. That's the Twin Parks, the first Twin Parks development. They was getting to it. But at that time, before them, the black kids were doing it. And we just left it. Like, you got to think, this is a children's dance movement. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Those are breakdancers in that time. Children. You know, you could go outside. There was no such thing as kidnapping children. So you go outside by yourself at 4 or 5 years old with your 8-year-old friend who's designated to watch you through the whole day. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, it is one of the elements because it was the dance that went to a record called Apache. People would, like, if you, like, the first break I ever heard was Gangsta Boogie by the Chicago Gangsters. And then after that, Apache by the Bongo Rock Band. It was one day I come downstairs, it's on. And when Apache came on, all my friends hit the floor and they start spinning and shit. So I start getting on the floor and just getting dirty with them. So I would say this, breakdancing was a part of the culture because it was a dance that went to the music when this record Apache came on. It's Just Begun by Jimmy Castor. Frisco Disco, Apache. It was like a few records that when it came on, that meant go off. The get down part, you know.
Now, like, do you think these arguments, like Lord Jamar, he brought up the thing where he went at Karis one about, Puerto Ricans and Latins and hip hop and whatnot. You think like people are bringing this up to just try to be divisive and try to divide?
Well, the way I see it, the corporation wants to sink their teeth into rap 100 years from now.
What do you say,
Well,
corporation? Like, who do you mean
look,
specifically?
right? Rap made its way to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
This is a global sport, and that breakdancing in the Olympics, they could have had me. I'm out of shape. They could have got me up there to fucking join in the competition with what them people was up there doing. But rap went to the Olympics, right? Rap, it can't be attached to black folks. So now I know where the divisiveness is coming from, because Puerto Ricans is our brothers. Jamaicans is our brothers. When you come into places like Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, there's not too much of a cultural difference where blacks, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans don't fuck with each other. That's not what's going on. So I was wondering where the divisiveness was coming from, because this is not our conversation. Now, all of a sudden, Puerto Ricans did this. In the beginning, it was foundational African Americans. We started everything, we threw it away, y'all got on it early. Stop it. So, me being a person who was there as a child at the Jam on Farmers Boulevard, my family lived on Farmers. Queens was on our ass with the breaks and everything. I'm 5 years old. There's a jam up on Anderson or Henderson and Farmers, and they're playing Space Funk. They're playing it was the Future Sounds crew versus the Cypher Sounds crew. This is 1976. I'm a little boy. My uncle took me up there to the jam, and Queens was on it at the same time as us, right? But it's just divisiveness. This is not our conversation. So to Busta Rhymes and to Fat Joe, this is no disrespect, but Puerto Ricans started nothing. Y'all was there. Y'all got on the floor. Y'all was early. Jamaicans, African American culture was so prevalent, right? That if you were a Jamaican, you hid that shit. And every black crew had a fly Puerto Rican nigga that was down. That was the leader of the Puerto Ricans, the Puerto Rican nigga that ran with the blacks. You know what I'm saying? So it's a divisive conversation. Hip hop stems out of the death of a gang member named Black Benji, and that's why they had that meeting over in the Hoe Avenue Boys Club. I just don't like when niggas that's not from the Bronx think they fucking know. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, look, as long as my man, Mr. Biggs from Soul Sonic Force is alive, Father Time, that's down with Money Boss, who's from Bronx River Projects, they will tell you, stop the cap. Interview Mr. Biggs from Soul Sonic. He's going to tell you who was what, because he's 8-9 years older than me, and he'll tell you, stop. So everything was foundational African Americans, and then we don't care. It wasn't a separation. Like I said, every black crew had one fly Puerto Rican nigga down, and that nigga was the leader of the Puerto Ricans because he got in with the blacks. So that's what was going on. So all this separatist shit, keep your eye on this sucker shit that's going on, because boy, I'm from the Bronx, and I was there as a baby in the crib. My mother and my aunt, they smoked their chiba. We be in the parks. The jam is going on. I was there. Even though I was playing tag, I saw what was going on. And it was no DJ Hector Consuelo Gonzalez. It was none of that. It wasn't no nigga wasn't cutting up Ruben Blades in the park. Nigga wasn't cutting up El Gran Combo. Niggas was cutting up Captain Sky, Frisco Disco, a bongo band, Apache, the Mexican. All of this stuff. Now, I will say this. Early on, Puerto Ricans was ballroom dancing because they was doing the hustle. They went from the hustle To the younger ones, the older ones were still ballroom dancing, but the younger ones went directly into the hip hop, and they took our shit and ran with it. So yes, it's an element. And I'm sorry for the long, dragged out
Nah,
thing,
it's
but
cool.
I'm passionate about it now as an older man because I see that somebody else wants to make a play and they're trying to separate us and slide it in like Puerto Ricans and blacks is some separate entity, and that's not how it got down. If anybody was separate in the early stages, it was Jamaicans. Niggas wasn't fucking with us like that.
Which
Now if
that makes sense.
now if Bambaataa is Jamaican, which I think he is, then we could say, yes, hip hop had its start off with a Jamaican who made it his business to act African American. Because African Americans would, and I don't like the word African Americans, but I'm saying that for the short, right? But, you know, foundational, indigenous, aboriginal, African American, Moors or whatever, we started everything. We start everything and then we give it away, or we throw it in the garbage and somebody picks it out the garbage and then they go do what they need to do with it. But from what I saw growing up in 3 sections of the Bronx, and my aunt lived in River Park Towers, and they wasn't jamming over there in 75, it's a bold-faced lie because she lived in River Park Towers when it was someplace to live. Come on, it wasn't no Pita Tosh, DJ Rockers, none of that. It was foundational African Americans.
Well, this question wasn't on my list, but a friend of mine was tuning in earlier, and he introduced me to this guy, DJ Hollywood. Do you know anything about him? Like being, they say he was the first DJ to, I guess, rap over the turntables.
Well, look, right? I don't want to take nothing away from the Bronx, but it's between DJ Hollywood and Busy B, foundational African Americans. See, Hollywood, what I didn't know, I got on to Hollywood in '84 when he was rocking the rooftop with Brucey B. But unbeknownst to me, he was the mic guy in the '70s in Harlem World. So, I'm not going to speak on nothing that I wasn't at, but I had a conversation with Hollywood, right? And all right, we know that her starting hip hop is cap. That's number one. So me and him are sitting at the table, and I was like, "Wood, man, this nigga Herc running around saying he the father of hip hop because of Bam's troubles, right?" And he was like, "If he was the founder," he said, Hollywood said, "If he was the founder of hip hop, that would mean he's my father. That nigga ain't my father." So I bust out laughing. So it's between the first MC being DJ Hollywood out of Harlem and Busy B. So that's something that I can't talk to where I wasn't at. You know what I'm saying? I did see it happen in front of me, 75, 76, because before then, all that shit is a lie. My nigga, all I saw as a baby in the Bronx was some tough looking niggas with the sleeves cut off on a jacket and writing. You saw the movie The Warriors?
Yeah. Classic.
Bro, The Bronx, The Warriors, The Wanderers, those two classics. You wasn't bringing no music outside. Them niggas was going to take your shit. The Bronx was always gangster, always tough. Your only rules as a child was when them fucking street lights come on, have your ass upstairs, because that's when the criminals came out to play. But nah, man, it wasn't no there was no nothing so far as, just don't let these people lie to you, bro. You wasn't coming outside with no music till the gangs started to die down 75, 76. You know what I'm saying? And really, it died down because them niggas got older. You got to remember, these guys are teenagers. They're having babies 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's when the gang culture died down and you could bring music out. You couldn't bring it. And then when you brought your music out in the 70s, you had to have juice. Niggas would take your DJ set, bro.
Damn.
A lot of niggas got robbed for their DJ set. Niggas ain't have turntables in their house. Everybody was poor. the drug game was specific to certain corners, like it was neighborhoods. Everywhere wasn't a hood. So you had to have permission to bring some music out. In the Bronx, pause, the Bronx was, they was gonna get you. They was gonna get you. They was gonna tear you up. So, that 72 shit is bullshit because the gangs were in full swing at that time. That's when the death hip hop stems out of the death of Black Benji, because Black Benji was one of the ghetto brothers. He was a peacemaker. He got killed by either one of the gangs, the Black Spades and another gang. You can look it up. It's called the 51st State, or just
Okay.
punching the death of Black Benji, because hip hop stems out of the death of Black Benji. And I know that he got killed over by what used to be Bronx Regional High School over there by where Pun was from, 163rd Street, where they got the Pun mural down the block. That's where Black Benji got killed at. But
Damn.
hip hop started from the death of Black Benji. So, everybody be talking shit about. I don't even like to separate this shit. Like when you get into the South Bronx,
Mhm.
it was more Puerto Rican and Black interaction over there than anywhere. So we overlapped each other. But when the Blacks went for the music, the Puerto Ricans went for salsa. You get what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
went Fox Street, Kelly Street with Ray Barretto and them. Ray Barretto, Ruben Blades, Willie Colon is outside playing bongos and shit, bands outside on the street. That was their jam. So they
Yeah.
had their own culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The children my age, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, were the hip hop Puerto Ricans. Because if I saw this crew, the Latin dancers off 183rd, Crotona, and Prospect, they had to be, if I'm 5, these guys is 9 years old, and they come in 10 deep to battle, LTD Incorporated, Latin dancers. So I always got to, whoever they were, and they were off my man Gabriel's block, whoever they were, and Gabriel's a Puerto Rican. That was one of my first best friends, Michael Brown and Gabriel, off 183rd Prospect in Crotona. But all this shit now, people are just talking, and you wasn't there. And those memories are just beautiful to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, just beautiful to have. Like, there's a guy from the Bronx named the Green Eyed Genie, Stan, right?
Uh-huh.
The first time I saw Stan was on my old block on 183rd and Prospect. There was a jam in the back in Twin Parks, and he had on the Lee suit with green Pumas. And that was like I don't know, probably was the beginning of me getting fresh, because there was another crew called the Together Brothers, which was like 6 brothers, and then they had a crew around them. So it was like 15 of them, and they all wore these jackets like Together Brothers, but not like a gang. They were fly. You know what I'm saying? They was Pumas, British Walkers. So, I hate when people that's not from the Bronx start talking about this shit, because niggas don't know what the fuck they be talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't even a jam. It was just like, the music is outside. It started being called the jam. They throwing a jam. And then the media came in with the terminology hip hop. That's what, I guess, because when they heard hip hop, a hippie, and that was 1978 when Rapper's Delight came out.
So you saying the media pretty much named the genre?
Yeah, that's not nothing we called it. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But back to Hollywood, you got to speak to Hollywood and Busy B to find out. I know that they're the first 2 MCs. I think Busy B was Mario's MC, and I don't know who Hollywood was with, but Hollywood was already in the clubs. He was in Harlem World. Harlem World was, you would hear about Harlem World as a child.
Yeah.
And it was really like the hustlers hung out in, you might have been side by side with millionaires in Harlem World. Harlem World was a place.
Now, you got any new projects coming up?
Yo, look, I did some stuff with De La Soul. It's finally coming out on AO3. I think it's AEO3 or AO3. And unfortunately, I thought Dave had got the latest lyrics on it before he passed away.
Oh man.
But I spoke to Macy on them. They said that he didn't, but it's coming out on AO3. And I did something on Pharoah Munch's new album that's getting ready to drop. And besides that, I'm working on Sidewalk Executive and just independent projects, because See, my goal now is to run around with guys like Diamond D, run around when
Okay.
because Diamond is getting ready to tour the earth.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna
yeah.
run around and tour the earth and pick up. You know what I'm saying? Run around and get the money with Diamond. And I'm working on something with NBC. I don't wanna. I don't want to. That's
Okay.
all. That was even too much to say because until everything is signed and you know. So
Well, Diamond D, I mean, he got at least 2 more dime pieces coming after that because he said he split up a whole album into 3.
yeah, I
So
rhymed. I rhymed on the new one. I'm on the new one rhyming.
I think I'm
It
gonna have
did,
to go back and listen to the whole thing. I was checking it out. He got man, Diamond D just like he got massive features on there.
it didn't come out yet. It didn't
Oh, it
come
ain't
out
came
yet.
out?
But yeah, I
Oh,
blacked
okay.
out on there. Yeah, I blacked out on there. You know what I'm saying? And my voice is a little different now from I went through I had a brain aneurysm, survived that
Oh,
thanks to the
sorry to
source,
hear that,
thanks to
man.
the universe. Hey man, look, I'm here. Don't be sorry, nigga. I can wiggle my
Yeah.
fingers every morning, every I don't like the word morning. Every sun round, when the sun come around, I wiggle my toes and I wiggle my fingers, and I'm just appreciative to be here because life is fragile, is delicate, and none of us we appreciate what you got going on, appreciate what you got because life is fragile. And I knew that already. I've been through things, but this is the thing that I don't fuck with nothing negative, man. Like, now I may have engaged in certain negative things in a previous time in my life, but man,
Mhm.
I don't. If they over there and them kind of people is over there, you're not gonna find Minnesota there. Like, I'm straight on the 8. Like, I get it. Like, my son said, Dad, make it home, and that's all it's about for me. Go do the work, make it home. I've been doing a lot of DJ sets all over. I'm doing the big vegan fest up in upstate New York. I don't have it in front of me. I've been DJing, me and my partner Steve Brock. Shout out to Steve Brock, and then we got a DJ team. So you hire one DJ for the price of one, and you get 4 sometimes. So it's called
Oh,
them.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Tracks, heat, energy, and music. So it's producers and DJs together. It's DJ Ock, DJ Copo, Steve Brock, the legendary Steve Brock, who was the DJ in the Roxy for 15, 20 years during the times when everything was going on. And it's me and Steve, we run around and we picking up, man. We doing what we got to do, you know?
Well, that's what's up. Before
And
we let Go
and
ahead.
we specialize in that soul and the horn type music. So, we could play anything, but we like that crowd. We play for the eclectic crowd. So a lot of DJ gigs. We got 7 projects now on the streaming sites. I want to shout out my man GT, who has a deal. He's under Rock Nation, but GT, I did something with him and Goods. It's called Are You Sure You Want to Go to New York City? I just did that with him. And oh my God. I'm on a joint with him where it's not a diss track, but we're talking about Vlad, the guy that does these podcasts. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a diss track. So
Yeah,
it's
he got
called
the
Vlad.
beef going on with Marlon Wayans right now.
Who?
Vlad.
Oh, look, right. Here's my thing. Why are you not reporting on white culture? Trap Law, Ross, all these guys. Like, your culture is boring. There's nothing going on in your culture, so you got to report about niggas all day, every day. And it's no disrespect, but when you concisely people are going to federal prison, like the young boy, what's his name from Newark, New Jersey? That's my godmother's grandson. God damn, my brain is so fucked up. I do this sometimes. I can't remember my friend's name. He's a battle rapper. He went on Vlad and then he got picked up by the FBI.
I don't remember who you're talking about
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Well, it's just shit like that, man. Like, once niggas are getting served and they're using your interviews, a genuine person would stop asking people criminal questions. But your thing is like, I'm gonna stomp on you to get where I gotta go because you're stupid. So I'm gonna ask you about when you shot 4 people. And that's wrong because you haven't done it to your own and you won't do it to your own. So I don't have a beef with them, but I'm pointing that shit out. Like, fuck out of here, nigga. I got a severe criminal past, and I wouldn't go up on Vlad talking about my criminal shit. Fuck out of here. So it's not a beef, but I'm just pointing it out because it's hopefully people will hear it and get it and understand it. Like, don't answer no criminal questions up on that boy stage. But yeah, man.
I think Vlad, like his interview style is another reason why he has to use people, because he can't just like hold down the show. You know what I'm saying? He can't just go on an hour long just talking about a topic and just get in front of the camera and hold things down, man. He's always hiding behind the camera. I hear most of the time he's not even in the room. He's on a TV screen. So you're
Go to
always
go
using
to
people for your
Putnam.
content when you can never get in front of the camera and be the entertainer yourself.
Go to Greenwich. Go to Putnam County. Go to Scarsdale and ask the diet doctor why he killed those people. It's boring.
Yeah.
White people are boring. Their culture. Who gives a fuck? Niggas is in this year.
Anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Much love to the Money Boss players, sidewalk executives, and Boss Money gangsters. And yo, we got the music coming. Shout out to Farrell Munch. Shout out to my man Yasin Bey, Stan Lathan, Dave Chappelle, my man Jason Boast, Young Lord, Gangu, all the people that's digging up and finding all these artists money all over the place. Just shout out to all the good people out there, man. Stay out of shit, don't step in it.
That's what's up. We appreciate you taking your time out, man, to do this interview, man. As soon as I get off here, I'm gonna start clipping up some clips, man.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man, and I'll definitely hit you up. Stay in touch, man. You know.
Let's get it. Let's
All
get it.
right.
All right.
Enjoy
All right.
the rest
Peace.
of your night, man.
All right. You too.
All right, peace. Well, there you have it. Another one in the books. Minnesota for Money Boss players. You heard all the names he shouted out. The stories he had to say about hip hop starting in the Bronx. That's probably my most in-depth interview as far as the time around when hip hop started, where it started, and whatnot. Definitely gonna get a lot of good, juicy clips about hip hop and when it started, what the scene was like. He produced for Big Pun. I'm not a player. I mean, even though he said he got the Grammy for Poverty's Paradise, I still feel like I'm Not a Player was really that probably peak moment, man. I mean, because that was a really, really big record for Big Pun. Rest in peace to Big Pun. Damn, I wish he was still here. He damn left way, way too early. You know, when I see those posts about I almost thought about posting at one time when I seen a post about what's the like out of all the dead rappers, what's the number one rapper that you wish would like come back right now and just drop an album? Like, I don't even want to answer those kind of questions because it's kind of very selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish they were all here. I wish that every dead rapper was here. I don't wish death on nobody. I don't wish death on my worst enemy, and I don't even really got no enemies. I mean, there's some people that probably might think they my enemies, but like Mr. Servon said, man, if bodies ain't dropping, it ain't beef. If bodies ain't dropping, it ain't beef. So yeah, I got a lot of good clips to clip up. We talked about DJ Hollywood. Um, he answered my Lord Jamar question. Talked about the Sadat X, Wild Cowboys, Yag Fu Front, who's from Raleigh, North Carolina. Shouts out to Yag Fu Front. Need to have him back up on here. I mean, he had a really, really great career, man. I mean, produced for dozens and dozens of artists. Did the theme music for Def Poetry Jam. He produced for Dave Chappelle show. Yeah, man, really, really great career. He says he's about to start touring with Diamond D. Shouts out to Diamond D. We got nothing but love for Diamond D right here. Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop is one of the most classic hip hop albums of all time. And if you want to know what, you know, represents hip hop, something that just signifies hip hop, more than any other album. Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop is one of those albums at the top of the list, man. Hopefully I'll be doing music reviews tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. The background music didn't play earlier. Shouts out to my man Kareem Stevens tuned in, said dope interview, and he's the one that actually introduced me to Hollywood and linked me up with Hollywood. I got his number, and I actually need to try to interview Hollywood here soon. I'm probably gonna have to interview him like during the weekday, maybe pre-recorded and just upload it later and whatnot. But hopefully I get this background music playing so I could do music reviews tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Submit to livefromfayettenam@gmail.com. I repeat, livefromfayettenam@gmail.com. Appreciate everybody tuning in on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I'm about to get off here and start clipping up some clips. Once again, thank you. Live from Fayettenam. I'm the one and only Paul Masson. Peace. And I'm out.